we started with 7QC tools. Scatterplot is just like, you are having independent variable and dependent variable. So you are having y, dependent variable is y, and you are having so many other variables or maybe a single variable. So single, let's say if I am traveling somewhere, or the number of kilometers which I am traveling and my consumption of petrol. So my consumption of petrol is depending on the kilometers I am traveling by car or by scooter or by two-wheeler, right? So when if my kilometers would increase, then definitely the consumption of the petrol would increase. This is the known phenomena. This we know that. But in industry, in our working environment, there are, when you are getting results or when you are getting defects or when you are when things are not okay, then there are number of variables or maybe one variable or number of variables are impacting on it. And we are always in the state of mind that I don't know which parameter, because of which parameter or because of which independent variable I could not able to get success. So to check, when you are knowing, that is absolutely fine. But when you are not knowing and you feel that one particular parameter may impact your success rate or may not impact your success rate, but if you would like to check statistically, then you can use scatter diagram. Scatter diagram is for the one parameter. Now, if you are having number of parameters, then you are having the multiple regression analysis. That also we will learn in the next particular session when we will introduce Minitab. When we'll learn, we'll do it through Minitab. But today, we are assuming that we are having one parameter, one dependent parameter, one independent parameter, which is impacting on the dependent parameter. We would like to check how it is impacting, how much it is impacting. And with the graphical representation through Excel, we'll understand it. But before we go for the Excel, let us understand how we can do it manually. So theory part, let us understand this in like through slides, and then we'll go straight away, we'll go to the scatter plot into the Excel. So what is a scatter diagram? It is like, the graph space for the numerical data with one variable on each axis. So you are having X and Y axis. Y is your result, X is your independent variable. And then to look for the relationship between them. If the variables are correlated, the points will fall along the line of the curve, right? So either you will have positive moment. Let's say if I'm plotting the kilometers travel in Y axis and consumption of petrol in X axis. So as I increase Y, definitely my X would be increasing. So that is the positive relationship. And if I take the example of negative relationship, as my age would increase, my strength would get decreased. So there is of course a relation, but there is a negative relationship, right? So there could be any kind of relationship. And we through scatter plot, we can able to understand whether my Y is depending on the variable, or my success or my result is depending on to the variable which I have chosen for the analysis purpose. And if it's impacting, then how much it is impacting. If it is impacting, then positively impacting or negatively impacting. So for that, generally we use this scatter plot. The better the correlation, the tighter the point will hug the line, right? So we'll have a trend line and all the points all the points nearby the trend line, I'll show you. And this cause analysis tool is considered one of the 7 basic quality tools, very classic tools. और मैं आपको यहाँ पे बताना चाहता हूँ कि अगर आपने 7QC tools को यूज किया, अगर आप 3 सिग्मा 4 सिग्मा पे काम कर रहे हो, तो आपको ज्यादा स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल्स की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. ओनली थ्रू हिस्टोग्राम, परेटो चार्ट, स्कैटर प्लॉट एंड फिशबोन डायग्राम. सो फिशबोन डायग्राम
आपका स्क्रीन हैंग है लगता है.
नहीं हैंग नहीं, मैं अभी किया नहीं है आगे. So these are the tools which you can use. Now I'm moving further. When to use scatter plot? When you have a paired numerical data, when your dependent variable may have multiple values for each value of your independent variable, when trying to determine whether two variables are related, such as when trying to identify potential root cause of the problem, after brainstorming causes and effects using Fishbone diagram to determine whether a particular cause and effects are related or not, then you can use scatter plot diagram. When two effects that appear to be related both occur with the same cause, then also we can use the scatter plot. and when testing for the autocorrelation before constructing a control chart. So before constructing the control chart, we can generally use this scatter plot diagram. Okay, so what are the process steps? Let me show you this diagram first, and then I will be coming to this process steps. This is when we are using this, you will not find anywhere. This is like, the earlier days when we were plotting this diagram into the graph, manually when we were plotting the diagram. At that time, for the analysis purpose, we were using this trend test table. So what exactly, how it would look like? If you see, this is I'm just checking the percentage of the purity versus the iron parts per million. So I would like to check the relationship between percentage of the product purity versus amount of iron into this, right? So this is like iron part. These are the two. Purity is depending on iron part, or iron part maybe depending on purity. I don't know. And so what I do is I've kept the purity at one particular axis and iron part into the x-axis, and I would like to check whether they are having any relationship or not. So this is the scatter plot diagram when we are doing the manually. So let us understand how to do that manually. So what are the steps? So collect pair of data where relationship is suspected. मेरे पास दो वेरिएबल है. Please understand that scatter plot जो है वो दो वेरिएबल के बीच में रिलेशनशिप एस्टैब्लिश करने के लिए होता है. तो we are having only two variables. Draw a graph with independent variable on the horizontal axis and dependent variable onto the vertical axis. Y is the depending on x-axis. So we are drawing the diagram there, right? For each pair of data, put a dot or symbol where the x-axis value intersects the y-axis value. Let's say purity and iron particles. So what I'm doing is, if I'm increasing the purity, whether iron particle decreasing or not, or let's say the example of the kilometers versus petrol use. So we are, for 1 kilometer, what is the amount of petrol I have used? For 5 kilometers, what is the amount of petrol I have used? For 10 kilometers, what is the amount of petrol I have used? This is from the data. You should have data of the consumption versus the distance travel. So that way you can look at the pattern of the point and see the relationship is obvious. If the data clearly form a line or curve, you may stop because variable are correlated. सीधा लाइन बन रहा है, पता ही है कि भाई पेट्रोल कंजम्पशन अपना किलोमीटर्स बढ़ेगा तो पेट्रोल कंजम्पशन बढ़ेगा ही. तो एक लाइन बन रहा है, दैट मींस यस इट इज कोरिलेटेड. कितना परसेंटेज कोरिलेशन है, दैट इज द डिफरेंट थिंग. कितना स्ट्रेंथ, कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग रिलेशन है, दैट इज डिफरेंट थिंग दैट विल आइडेंटिफाई, राइट. लेकिन अगर you may stop the correlation, you may wish to use regression or correlation analysis now. Now regression is part of the scatter plot. Scatter plot में आपका relation बन जाता है, then you can create a regression, or you can create the model, regression model. I will show you how to do that into scatter plot when we'll do it in Excel. Now we are using here manual sheets, right? So what we can do is divide the points on the graph into 4 quadrants if there are x points on the graph. What मतलब क्या? If you see here, I have these points. I have already plotted. मान लो यहाँ पे मैंने petrol consumption and यहाँ पे kilometers किया है, and I got this particular reference data from past I don't know, from past 24 days, right? So what I'm doing is I will have to divide this entire graph into 4 quadrants. So कैसे करना है? तो मुझे पता है 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 24, टोटल 24 पॉइंट्स हैं. तो मैंने एक लाइन बीच में ड्रॉ करी, 12 इस साइड आ गए और 12 इस साइड आ गए. क्यों करना है? That I will explain you once we'll go the next step. Similarly, to divide this part horizontally, हमने यहाँ पे 12 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So we are having, what is happening? 12 पॉइंट ऊपर आ गए, 12 पॉइंट नीचे आ गए. एंड सिमिलरली हॉरिजॉन्टल जो वर्टिकल लाइन है उसके एक साइड, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड 12 पॉइंट्स वी आर हैविंग, एंड राइट हैंड साइड वी आर हैविंग 12 पॉइंट्स. Why we are doing this? Because we do not have Excel. We are actually manually trying to understand whether there is a relationship or not. Okay, so ये हमने पहला एक पड़ाव पास कर लिया, पहले ड्रॉ कर लिया, जितना भी डेटा था उसको हॉरिजॉन्टल और वर्टिकल में डिवीजन कर दिया. Now I'm going back. Okay. Now count the points in each quadrant. Do not count points on a line. जो line पे points है उसको हम अब क्या करना है? जो quadrant पे जितने point है that I'll need to count. So this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is 4. So I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. इसमें 9 points हैं, इसमें 1, 2, 3 points हैं, इस फिर थर्ड में 1, 2, 3 points हैं, and then this also would be having 9 points. So 9, 3, 3, 9. Okay, so these are the points I have calculated. Now if I'll go back and then add the diagonally opposite quadrants and find the smaller sum and the total points in all quadrants. मतलब क्या? This point I have to add the point of the quadrant 1 and quadrant 4, Q1 and Q4. So 9 here, 9 points are here, 9 points are here. It would give me 18 points. Look at this. So points of upper left and points of lower right. Diagonally जो quadrant है उसके point को मुझे add करना है. Similarly, diagonally ये quadrant है उसके points को मुझे add करना है. So I am having points in upper left and points in lower left. 9 plus 9, 18. And points in upper right, points in lower left. 3 plus 3 is equal to 6 points. Right? Now important part is A हो गया मेरा points upper left, and B हो गया points upper right and points in lower right. So A and B, क्योंकि quadrant 1 and 3 को ऐड करेंगे मुझे एक फिगर मिलेगा. Quadrant 2 and 4 को ऐड करेंगे मुझे एक फिगर मिलेगा. तो एक को मैंने नाम A दे दिया, दूसरे को मैंने नाम B दे दिया. और A और B जो फिगर्स मिले हैं उसमें से जो सबसे छोटा फिगर है, स्मॉलर होगा, इसको मैं नाम दूंगा Q. दैट इज माय Q. सिंबल आप कोई भी दे दो. दैट इज द क्वाड्रेंट फिगर. मीनिंग क्या? इफ यू सी हियर, Q is the smaller of A and B. So I am having the 6. 6 is the smaller, right? Now, N is equal to A plus B. So my total numbers कितने हैं? मेरे totals numbers कितने हैं? A plus B, obviously 18. यहाँ पे अगर देखे तो 18 plus 6, that is my 24. Now I am having two figures, 2 points now. One is Q, जो सबसे A और B में सबसे छोटा है वो मेरा Q मिल गया, और दूसरे मुझे नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स N मिल गया. नाउ यू आर हैविंग दिस ट्रेंड टेस्ट टेबल. दिस इज द रेडीमेड टेबल व्हिच स्टैटिस्टिशियन हैव गिवन. और वो बोलते हैं कि अगर आपका ये जो है N इज योर टोटल नंबर्स, और ये जो है आपकी लिमिट Q की लिमिट है, Q आपके जो क्वाड्रेंट की लिमिट है वो लिमिट है यहाँ पे. उसका मतलब उसको इंटरप्रेट कैसे करते हैं? इफ Q जो स्मॉलर ऑफ A एंड B हमने लिया है is less than the limit. Which limit? N की जो इसने लिमिट बताई है 24 के सामने यहाँ पे क्या लिमिट होनी चाहिए? 6. Okay, so Q is less than limit. The two variables are related. मेरे यहाँ पे 24 पॉइंट्स हैं और मेरी जो लिमिट आ रही है वो 6 से कम आ रही है. Then only it is related. अगर the Q is greater than or equal to that limit, the pattern could have occurred from the random chance, right? So it is, as such, there is no correlation. As such, there is no relation, and both the variables are independent variable, and because of something, some other variables, the phenomena is happening, right? So let us take this example. Let us look at into this example. Here we are having 9 plus 9, 18, 6. So हमको दो points 24 का एक N is equal to 24 मिला and Q is equal to 6 मिला, right? So Q is equal to the limit. Therefore हमारा कंडीशन क्या है? हमारा कंडीशन ये है कि अगर उससे कम मिले, Q जो मिलता है वो नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स और उसके सामने जो लिमिट दी गई है उससे कम मिले, then we can say there is a relationship, right? Then we can say there is some relation, or the whatever variables we have taken, those are dependent on each other, and because if I change one variable, then other would also be changing, right? So this is the manual way of doing this. Okay, so here Here it is clearly shown that therefore the pattern could have occurred from the random chance and no relationship is demonstrated. So this is manually, but Excel has, as we are learning this, as we are learning the QC tools, we should know that how we can do without Excel. So this is the way you can do without Excel. Okay. Now what about how to do this into the Excel? It is very easy. Let me stop my screen and let me go to Excel and let me perform this for you. That is also very interesting. So what I'll do is let me start my consumption of petrol. So how to do this? Like we can actually plot this into the X and Y and we can do this analysis. But if you let us say how to do into the Excel. So I would like to plot this. So what I'll do is I will go to insert, or let's say let me go through this particular graph and I will go to the just a moment. Scatter. Okay, so I will go to the scatter. Okay, once again let me show it to you. Into the insert, go to chart and you will find XY scatter, right? Let me show it to you once again. Go to insert tab, go to chart and then click on XY scatter plot. Okay, so I'm clicking on this, right? And now if you see, this is the data. This is the, like, you know, it is showing me a strong relationship. Why? Because here if I am increasing, this is my, if you see, this is my Y and this is my, you know, the petrol, this is my petrol consumption. This is my distance traveled. It is right. So you can just put all this detail here. I'm not doing that, but this is how it is looking like. Okay. Now, if we would like to, this is like, you know, scatter plot, we have already established the relationship, and from this graph we can say that yes, there is a relationship. Now let me show you how to establish relationship. मुझे आपको बताना है कि ये रिलेशनशिप कैसे बनती है. ओके, पता तो चल गया कि हाँ भैया वो जो पेट्रोल का कंजम्पशन है वो डिस्टेंस पे डिपेंडेंट है. वी नो दैट. ओके, नाउ if I click on this particular point, if I click on this particular point and click the right, and if I put, if I click the right tab, so then if I right click, then I will find option of adding trend line. So what I'll do is I'll be adding trend line here. Okay, add trend line. Okay, so if I'll add a trend line, and generally there are several options. You can see the option exponential, linear, logarithmic, polynomial, power, moving average. You can use any of this. Okay, most of the times generally we are using moving average or exponential or linear, but यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं, we are just trying to understand the establishing the relationship. Then we should use always a linear option. Okay, and then if you see here, I would like to display equation on chart. मतलब क्या कि मुझे रिलेशनशिप एस्टैब्लिश करना है कि कितना, अगर वो चेंज होता है पेट्रोल का कंजम्पशन या डिस्टेंस तो कितना होता है. अगर मेरे पास ये डेटा है तो फ्यूचर के लिए कुछ मैं प्रेडिक्ट कर पाऊंगा. तो दिस रिलेशनशिप इक्वेशन यू नीड टू एस्टैब्लिश and then display R squared value on chart, right? What is the R square value? I will come to this. So just look at this. Look at this. So you are having R square value. Y is equal to, हमने अगर आपने सुना हो तो हमने नाइन्थ में जितने भी लोग यहाँ पे हैं वो नाइन्थ में हमने ये चैप्टर पढ़ा था. Y is equal to mx plus c. This is the equation of the regression. Okay, so y is equal to mx plus c. M matlab kya? This you can, y is my outcome, right? So what is the outcome? Consumption of petrol. Okay, m is what? M is my slope, right? And x is what? X is the distance traveled, right? And this is my constant. So when, let's say if I am having this relationship and it is showing r square का value जितना 100 के करीब होता है उतना रिलेशन, दो पैरामीटर, दो वेरिएबल के बीच में रिलेशन मजबूत होता है, उतना रिलेशन, द रिलेशन बिटवीन दिस टू पर्टिकुलर एक्स एंड वाई इज वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. द वैल्यू ऑफ आर स्क्वायर गिव्स द आइडिया how strong the relationship between two variables x and y. So here, of course, we have taken that way. So it is strong with strong relationship. And that means what? If I will predict something from this equation, let's say I do not have the data of how much distance I have traveled, okay, or how much petrol I have consumed, right? So if I am having one variable, how much distance I have traveled, if I put this here in X, 30 kilometers, then I will able to get somewhere around 2.5. Let us check it. Y is equal to mx plus c. I'm considering X is as 30, okay? So what is the consumption of the petrol I have received? So let us try to put this 0.0868, which is the my aim, into 30, into 30 minus 0.1254, and let me check whether I'm getting the whether I'm getting the value near this or not. So let me put here, so 2.47, right? So near to this, more or less you can predict this, right? Why? Because your R is very strong. That is why these values are coming strong. Okay. So this is how you can establish the relationship between two variables, and that way you can calculate, you can predict the outcome for the future also. So this is like, then we can go, let's say this is, we are talking about one variable, but if you in real life, in practical sense, there are a number of variables which are impacting on our output. घर में अगर मेरा जो let me take the example of salary. Salary क्यों नहीं बढ़ती है? There are a number of variables like, you know, the outside market, my company, my own performance, my degree, my valuation. There are a number of variables. But if I'm in one variable, then this is the fantastic model. If you are having more than one variables, then we can use multiple regression. That we will learn into the next phase. Okay, and there are possibilities. Some of the assumptions, I'm not going to the depth of it. हो सकता है कि आपको लगता है कि रिलेशनशिप है, लेकिन one variable goes to other, but both the variables may have influence of the third variable also. Let's say the consumption of the petrol and the distance travel आपकी स्पीड पे भी डिपेंडेंट है, कितना स्पीड से गाड़ी चला रहे हो. तो ये जो है ना, स्टैटिस्टिक्स इज ऑल अबाउट द प्रोबेबिलिटीज. So there are, it would give you the results near to the prediction, but that does not mean it should be exactly like this. So ये आपको एक बेस बना के देगा, बट जरूरी नहीं है कि वही रिजल्ट्स आएंगे. जैसे कोविड के टाइम में हुआ है कि लोग प्रेडिक्ट कर रहे थे कि देयर वुड बी लाइक, यू नो, there would be no second wave, or it may third wave may also come, but all those are prediction based on the data from the various countries. So we cannot predict anything out of it, but there are certain external factors also impacting on it, and that is why many times अगर आप देखो तो opinion poll के data जो है वो गलत साबित हो जाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि वो जो samples लिया है उन्होंने, उनके हिसाब से उन्होंने analysis किया है. Those are the predictions. So prediction could be a guideline, but blindly we cannot accept it. So similarly, you are having some other consideration. I'm not going into the detail of it,